Hey, welcome back to Steve Horvath Fishing. I got a question for you. When it comes to fishing, who's a hammer? I mean, who's got skills among skills, and they are just a great fisherman, great bass fisherman, let's say, because we're talking about bass fishing. Who's a hammer? Who's a hammer among hammers? And who is truly elite? Here's my definition. A hammer in the sport of fishing is somebody whose skill level is in the top 5 percentile. Okay? Top 5 percentile. That'd be like getting 95 on a test every time. That's pretty friggin' good. Now, I don't know the real numbers, but let's say that there's 1 million guys that fish, and girls that fish. By my calculations, without taking my shoes off, I would say that if you're in the top 5% of that million, that's somewhere right around a lot, okay? And that a lot is a lot more than the guys fishing on TV. It's a lot more than the guys you've ever heard of. And it's a lot more than the people I'll ever meet fishing. Okay? Just because you haven't been talked about on TV, just because you haven't even competed, does not mean that you are not a hammer. You may be a hammer. Life could get in your way. Other things could just not interest you to be a tournament fisherman, but you may be a hammer. Now, I have another classification. The top 1% of anglers. The top 1% of anglers are the truly elite. Not the elite series, okay? But the truly elite anglers. Okay? And their skill level can change over time. Take Rick Clunn. He's not really that competitive these days. But who could argue that at one time he was one of the truly elite anglers in the sport? Hank Parker, Bill Dance, Jimmy Houston. Who's a hammer now? Well, I think you'd have a hard time arguing with guys like Hackney, Defoe, Wheeler, and a host of others. Those guys would be in that truly elite level. So, help me out. Who's a hammer? What's your classification for a hammer? And let me remind you, it can't be just money, because I guarantee you there's a lot of guys out there that could outfish a lot of the pros out there. Hey, till next time, I'm Steve.